Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. Welcome, and hope you guys are having a good day. I saw something in the news that bothered me. This What happened is that there was like an Israeli soccer team playing in Holland, and uh, and then when and so there was a bunch of Israeli people there uh, watching it, and as they were leaving, they were attacked, and Israel sent two airplanes to rescue the people, and so it just made me very uncomfortable, and it was related. The people who were attacking them were saying this because of Gaza, and I'll be honest with you. It's too easy to get people to turn against the Jews. It's too easy to get people to hate the Jews. And, it's like, it just seems like even in the United States, at the universities and everything, it just, it worries me when I start seeing this. And I wish there was a way I could just tell, the Arabs, who are doing stuff like this to not do this. This could really end up bad for us. And so, anyway, just look at the article that is this is in the Israeli newspaper. Okay. All right. We were ambushed. At least 10 were injured, 3 missing in Amsterdam pogrom. Now, pogrom, if you guys don't remember, let me just get the definition of what exactly pogrom. It was an organized massacre of a particular ethnic group, in particular that of the Jewish people in Russia or Eastern Europe in the late 19th, early 20th century. It's like an organized, violent riot incited with the aim of massacring or expelling an ethnic or religious group, particularly Jews. The term entered the English language from Russian to describe the attacks on Jews in the Russian Empire, mostly within the Pale of Settlement. Okay, so let's just look at what's happened here. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has sent 2 emergency flights to evacuate Israelis from the city. Now, this is Amsterdam, guys. Europe, one of the most liberal cities, and pro-Palestinian demonstrate at Amsterdam Anton de Compline Square ahead of the European League football match between Ajax and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Okay, violent attacks against Maccabi Tel Aviv fans continue to take place in Amsterdam following a soccer match, on Thursday evening. Local authorities and Israeli Foreign Ministry have reported that 10 Israelis have been injured so far in the pogrom, with council members currently searching hospitals. 3 people have been reported missing. Among those missing is 33-year-old Israeli-Bulgarian Guy Avidor, who traveled from London for the game. The last contact with his family was a post on social media before the match. He has since been missing for 10 hours. Okay, so I don't know that it's hard to believe that they could kidnap him in Amsterdam. Guy's family has asked the public with help in trying to locate him. Authorities say the situation has calmed down over the last hour, and Israelis have been instructed to shelter in place. A Dutch police spokeswoman said 57 have been arrested so far. Okay, so they are arresting people. Footage circulating on social media has shown fans being beaten, chased with knives, narrowly avoiding being hit by vehicles. Dutch riot police were sent to respond to the attackers. Here's one of the videos. Okay, I'm going to turn it down so that it's not be too loud. I guess in London, this isn't a big deal, but I'm sure about Amsterdam. I've been there to Amsterdam, and I was in there is I was in Belgium. No, I was in Amsterdam too. There was a conference there for ex-Muslims, and so when people stand up against genocide and want to speak out against the Zionist state of Israel, Burgermeister Fem chooses to silence them. Okay, talking about the police, chooses to silence them and sends riot police against demonstrators, while IOF, or I think it means IDF, and Mossad are given free rein in the city of Amsterdam. Really? In Amsterdam, they're given free rein too? Here's the video. Here's some more pictures from the, here's some of the comments. Okay. Disgusting. Shame on you, endangering your own citizens in their own city, jeopardizing those who pay your salaries with their taxes, those whom you should be protecting, especially from alien fanatic violence and racism. Shame on you and your corruption. How can you even sleep at night? Amsterdam, your moral bankruptcy is a failure for this city and country. Okay. So, all right. Well, let's see. According to Maariv, this is an Israeli newspaper, there has been at least one attempt at kidnapping an Israeli, and many have barricaded themselves in stores and buildings. Israel's embassy in the Netherlands is working to relocate Israelis to a safe location. Okay, Jews are openly being beaten in Amsterdam tonight.
السامد طب عقلك السامد الطندرة ميك السامد طب عقلك السامد الطندرة ميك
Gosh. Wow. Okay, Netanyahu has been informed of the incidents and has sent 2 rescue planes to assist Israeli citizens. The IDF the IDF is coordinating with the rescue mission and are sending cargo aircrafts and 2 planes from the Hercules squadron with medical and rescue teams. Prime Minister's office said Netanyahu views the horrifying incident with the utmost gravity and called on the Dutch government and security forces to take vigorous and swift action against the rioters. He spoke with Dutch Minister Dick Schoof on Friday morning, asking him for increased security for the Jewish community in the Netherlands. Okay, Schoof posted on X that he had been following the news from Amsterdam with horror. Completely unacceptable anti-Semitic attacks on Israelis. He added that his call with Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, had emphasized that the perpetrators will be tracked down and prosecuted. The National Security Council has issued a new warning to Israelis and Jews in the Netherlands. Avoid movements in the streets, lock yourself in hotel rooms. The externalization of Israeli and Jewish symbols must be avoided. I guess that means to wear Israeli clothes, or like the yarmulke, or like a Star David or something. Israel, Arkia, and El Al have added 3 rescue flights on the order of the Transport Ministry. Details of the incident. So, multiple videos show Israelis jumping into canals to avoid the protesters. One video shows a man being kicked to the ground while he yells at them, "I'm not Jewish." "I called my friend and a voice in Arabic answered," one man said. "We experienced the very thing they told us in school would never happen again." These attacks come just hours after the country commemorated the 86th anniversary of Kristallnacht. Kristallnacht was in Germany, a night when the Germans went on a, I'm not exactly sure, but let me just make sure. Let me find out what it is here. Okay, Kristallnacht, this was in Germany before World War II. It is called the Night of Broken Glass, also called the November Pogrom. Okay, was a pogrom against Jews carried out by the Nazi Party Sturmbataillon whatever, and Schutzstaffel. Schutzstaffel was kind of like their secret police, paramilitary forces, along with some participation from Hitler Youth and German civilians throughout Nazi Germany on November 9th and 10th, 1938. November 9th and 10th. Wow. That's like in 2 days. 1938. The German authorities looked on without intervening. The euphemistic name Kristallnacht comes from the shards of broken glass that littered the streets after the windows of Jewish-owned buildings and synagogues were smashed. The pretext for the attacks was the assassination on November 9th of a German diplomat, Ernest von Rath, by Herschel Grinspan, a 17-year-old German-born Polish Jew living in Paris. Jewish homes, hospitals, and schools were ransacked as attackers demolished buildings with sledgehammers. Rioters destroyed 267 synagogues throughout Germany, Austria, and Sudetenland. Over 7,000 Jewish businesses were damaged or destroyed. 30,000 Jewish men were arrested and incarcerated in concentration camps. Okay, so that's what Kristallnacht is. So that actually is tomorrow, on the 9th. Yeah, so it's funny that this happened. You notice October 7th happened 50 years after the 1967, it was called the Yom Kippur War. And now this Kristallnacht, this attack happened just while Kristallnacht. Oh, okay, Airbnb says, no, of course, no players were involved in these riots, just some sick so-called fans. Despicable cowards. Yeah. The Ajax youth are more and more from a Moroccan background, a Muslim background. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Amsterdam. There's an area. It's kind of like a ghetto where there's a huge Muslim population in it. And hello from Norway. That's not too far from Norway. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I spent some time there. I really loved Holland. Just, it's really amazing. So here's some videos. They're chasing the Jews there. This is in Holland, you guys. I don't know if Holland is strong enough to stop this. Well, they got video there of a lot of these guys. Now you know how it feels. Wow, it's happening in Amsterdam, you guys. Now you know how it feels. Wow, looks like the person is dead. Yeah, looks what people are writing. So sad what Europe has become. Sinwar the Great. So these IDF soldiers or fans, if you may, who have killed over 55,000 women and children in Gaza squeal like pigs when they face real men. Good for those real men. Wow. Look at that. Sinwar the Great. This is a disgrace. They are chasing after Jews in the streets of Europe. They were rampaging through the town, recording themselves ripping down Palestine flags like racist hooligans that they are. They got their beat and now they're crying about it. The anti Semitism in the world is unimaginable. A lot of these people are trying to justify these attacks. You can tell. Welcome to Amsterdam. These people are worse than animals, domestic terrorists. I stand with Maccabee Israel. Oh, really?
All the truth is just the news writing.
Oh, okay, guys. Sorry, I'm not showing you the videos. Here, let me just show you the videos. Okay. Okay, you guys didn't see the videos. Let me show you. We're chasing the Jews.
That's Palestine, huh? That's Gaza, motherfuckers. That's Gaza. That's Gaza, ولاد الكحاب. That's Gaza. That's Gaza. Gaza ولد الحبايب. Huh? Now you know how it feels, eh? Now you know how it feels, eh, motherfucker? Where you from? That's Palestine, huh? السامد طب تعقلك السامد الطندرة ميك السامد طب تعقلك السامد الطندرة ميك السامد طب تعقلك السامد الطندرة ميك السامد طب تعقلك السامد.
Yeah, so these are the images and people saying so sad what Europe has become. 1939 all over again. That's when this was the Sinwar the Great. So these IDF soldier or fans, if you will, killed over 55,000 women, children in Gaza, squeal like pigs when they face real men. Good for those real men. Sinwar the Great. Maytar, this is a disgrace. They are chasing after Jews in the streets of Europe. They were rampaging through the town, recording themselves ripping down Palestine flags. Anti-Semitism in the world is unimaginable. Mr. Polsci guy, I think it's, I don't know if he's pro or against. Jacob says, Islamist freaks. Welcome to Amsterdam. These people are worse than animals. Domestic terrorists. Deport all those Islamic animals from all Western countries. Send them back to the jungle from which they came. Eddie Nelson, good on the crowds that beat them up. They're all conscripts. They got what they deserve, especially after making offensive chants. People are fuming daily because of the slaughtering of their children. One can only imagine what will happen later. We have seen nothing yet. Excuse me 1 second, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay. Amsterdam seems okay with radical terrorists targeting Jewish people or anyone who supports them. Sad, but not surprising given the pathetic state of Europe these days. This isn't close to the stadium, though. It's a 30-minute metro ride from the stadium to Central Station. And the videos appear to be from a block or two from the station. Gaza الآن. Response to the Israeli terrorists tearing up the Palestinian flag. So they're trying to, okay, oh sweet. Look, there's more videos.
Help! This for the children! For the children, motherfucker! I'll give you my money, I'll give you please. For the children! I'll give you my money! Free Palestine now! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
He's saying, look, I'll give you my money. Please don't hurt me.
You want to kill kids? Kids should leave him, man. Kids. Huh? This for the children! For the children, motherfucker!
I'll give you my money. I'll give you, please go.
For the
I'll give you my
children!
money. I'll give you my money.
Free Palestine now! Free
Rijd die maar aan, rijd. Wie hem aanrijden? Kankerburg! Kankerflikker! Rijd die maar aan, rijd. Wie hem aanrijden? Kankerburg! Kankerflikker! Rijd die maar aan, rijd. Wie hem aanrijden?
Battle.
Summit!
narrative.
طب كنت عقلك السمت حب طنطا لا ميك سمت طب كنت Hey, kijk politie, hoor je dit?
Hey, kijk!
Hey, kijk politie, hoor je dit?
Hey, kijk!
Yeah.
Hey, kijk politie, hoor je dit?
Hey, kijk!
Says last night, hooligans from Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv marched through the streets of Amsterdam ahead of Ajax.
Ole!
They were tearing down Palestinian flags. How it started, chanting, finished the Arabs. For some reason, I'm not sure. This is Europe, you guys. Europe tolerating brown shirts because they're not white. That's diversity and inclusion. We all hoped it went away after the Holocaust, but it was just waiting to be unleashed again. Europe is a powder keg ready to explode, but authorities can do nothing because non-white, non-Christians are involved. And as we all know, the gravest of all sins is appearing to be racist. Jewish fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv being attacked in Amsterdam highlights a concerning trend associated with football matches, particularly when they intersect with political, cultural tensions. When are we kicking out? Okay, were those guys that were on camera scaling building, tearing down Palestinian flags in the neighborhood? EU border policy is going to be its undoing. The UK wanted to negotiate this and the free movement of people, but were shut down. They voted for Brexit instead, which would never have happened had they been taken seriously. I can see other countries wanting to do the same thing, not because of the far-right sentiment. Rather, the people left, center-right feel they have lost control of their own countries. This is shameful to see in Europe, but a consequence of our immigration policy. When BB turns Gaza into a beach, don't come crying babies. Don't come crying babes. Okay. That's very hard to watch. Israeli football hooligans tear down Palestine flag in Amsterdam as taxi drivers fight back in the night. So these guys are celebrating the attacks on the Jews. They are guests in another country. They act like racist hooligans. They can do that back in their home in Israel. They can't do it in another country. So they're trying to say that the Jews did something to deserve that treatment. Maccabee scum hit with a taxi with an iron chain. Dutch police did nothing. These terrorists came to riot. I was in Amsterdam during the World Cup. Okay, so there's some stuff that's going on, you guys. So anyway, that's scary, man. It's scary because it's so easy for the world to turn against the Jews. It's so easy. And if we look in the book of Revelation 11, 12. Actually, the coming of the Antichrist is preceded. Okay, let me put this here. Okay, it says, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. Now, a lot of people believe that this woman is Israel. The reason being because this is like the vision. In fact, we can go see that vision. I believe the vision is in Genesis 37. Okay. Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made him a special robe. Okay, and then Joseph. Now this is Yusuf in the Quran. Joseph had a dream. When he told it to his brothers, they hated him more. He said to them, okay, it's not this one, but there's another dream. Okay, he said, I had another dream. And this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Okay, so the sun, moon, 11 stars were bowing down to him. Okay, so based on that right there, the belief is that Revelation chapter 12, when it talks about this woman, it says, a sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed in the sun with the moon, and under her feet were a crown and a crown of 12 stars. Okay, so you got the sun, moon, and stars. It says she was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Okay, and then look what happened. She's about to give birth, and then what happens? Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its head. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that it might devour her child the moment it was born. You guys, this is a very much, very close to Genesis chapter 3. Let's just look at Genesis 3 real quick. This is what God said to the serpent. Okay, so the Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life. But here's the important part. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head. You will strike his heel. So this is the enmity between the dragon and the woman from Genesis. Okay. And so the devil is scared of the seed of the woman, who is Jesus Christ. Okay. Revelation 12, back to Revelation 12. It says, okay, and then it says, she gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. Her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. That's 3.5 years, you guys. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was not strong enough. They lost their place in heaven. The great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray, was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now has come the salvation and the power and kingdom of our God, the authority of his Messiah, for the false accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them day and night before our God, has been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe unto the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows his time is short." Okay. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the child. See, Satan is interested in one particular nation. The woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, so she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she will be taken care of for times, and half a time, 3.5 years, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. I wonder, you guys, when Iran hit those 300 missiles at Israel, and it was like the whole world came to the aid of Israel and shot down those missiles. And then they did it again a few weeks ago. And again, there was assistance from the U.S. and France and England, and they shot down all the missiles, and nobody was hurt. The dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony of Jesus. So when the devil was unable to get the woman, he went after her seed. Those who keep God's commands, those are the Jews, and those who keep their testimony of Jesus, the Christians. The devil always does the same thing. So when I see this type of stuff happening in Europe, you guys, I don't want to be on the wrong side of God on this. Okay. Yes. Someone says, I saw a video by saying the Great Tribulation is past. Guess he didn't read the 3 questions. Our future, they stumble. There is what do they call those people who say that the tribulation is past and that the millennium, what was it? I can't remember what they're called, but they're Christians, they're our brothers, but I totally disagree with them. We are living in the beginning stages, and I'm not sure I believe that we're going to be here during the tribulation. I've always believed that the rapture was going to happen. And in fact, the other day, like I told you, I was at the supermarket with my wife, and she went off to look at Christmas trees, and I thought the rapture happened. So, preterists, yes. So, yeah, so, yeah, I don't believe that. Definitely don't believe in preterism. Yeah, I believe that it's going to happen just like the Bible says it's going to happen. A lot of people say it happened, like with what happened. Because you see where some of the confusion is that if you look at Matthew and Luke and Matthew and Mark, when the disciples asked Jesus, "What is the sign of your coming?" he lists all these things that are going to happen, and then he talks specifically about Jerusalem, and says, "When you see the abomination that causes desolation and the nations of the earth gathered against Jerusalem, then and the issue of this generation." Yeah. But Luke, you guys, is not about the end times. Luke was about what happened in the days of the disciples. Now, it sounds very similar, but it was specifically aimed at what was going to happen. And in there, Jesus says, when you see the nation surrounding, flee to the mountains. And this happened historically because the Christians fled to the mountains and were saved. Those who didn't obey Jesus were killed, or when Jerusalem was destroyed, 70 AD by Titus. And so, if you look at Luke, it's different from Matthew and Mark. Matthew and Mark are end time. Luke was, 2,000 years ago. So that's where a lot of people get confused. And but when it says this generation, I believe that it's talking about our generation, the generation that sees Israel reborn. And it's not a doctrine, if I'm wrong. I know the end of the story, so, yeah, he's coming, and that's what matters, but many Christians have suffered through this since Jesus was raised. Yes, absolutely. I know it. There's been so many, and but when you see this stuff happening in Europe right now with these pogroms and stuff, it reminds me that the devil is coming, and you guys, there's a special hatred for the Jews. Satan hates the Jews, and he hates the Christians, in particular, because the Jews, there are the ones that the Messiah came through, the one who's going to crush his head. And then I hope they come to the Lord. Now, does that mean that the Jews are saved? No. The only way to be saved is through Jesus Christ. And they are not saved. If they don't have Jesus, they're not saved. They're going to hell. But on earth, there are promises for them. And those promises will be fulfilled. And I know a lot, especially Palestinian Christians, disagree with me. A lot of Arab Christians disagree with me. But I think they're wrong. I've seen so many prophecies about the return of the Jews to the land that I believe that the Bible teaches that they are going to return to the land in the end times. So, all right, you guys. Well, this is kind of a bad news thing, and I'm sorry about that, but this is what's happening. We need to be aware. We need to be aware of what's happening. And, and we need to speak out against it. I don't want the Jews. I don't want the Jews to be persecuted like they were, and I feel like I need to lift my voice and say something, just, and I'm one tiny little voice here. I don't know that, my voice matters that much, but I just want to say, you guys leave the Jews alone, leave the Jews alone, because God is going to protect them. Even though they may not be saved, they are beloved. They are enemies because of the gospel. Those who don't accept the Lord, they're enemies because of the gospel. That's what Paul says. But he says, but they are beloved because of the fathers. They are beloved because of the fathers. So we need to be careful. And, you only bring yourself problems, by doing this kind of stuff, So let me see. I just wanted to see the news, see what is going on. Okay. Okay. Well, we all know that President Trump won the election, and the Republicans won the Senate, and they have right now 53 senators, which means an absolute majority. And even if 2 Republican senators defected, went and voted with the Democrats, J.D. Vance could be the tiebreaker, because he's, that's of the vice president gets to do that. And Kamala Harris did that several times. And about the House of Representatives, it hasn't been decided, but the Republicans need another 7. They have 211 right now. They need another 7 to get the majority, because you need 218 to have the majority. The Democrats have almost 200. They have 199. So they're like 12 less than the Republican. So the House is going to be slim, but he still is going to have a huge, amazing ability to do so much, for because he has what's called the trifecta. The trifecta is to have the White House, the House of Representatives, and the White House, the Senate. Okay, I don't know what happened there. So, all right, you guys. Well, if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. In favor of at least one law that she was suddenly against when she could. Yeah, she was flip-flopper. People aren't dumb. When they see her on TV, choking on her words like that, they know there's something up. And, Judge Judy always says, if something doesn't make sense, it's not true. There is dual fulfillment prophecies. That's true. Yep. Yes, the Antichrist has not yet come. But, since you brought that up, let me just say this, and I know you guys know this, but, that when he goes after the woman and is unable to get her, it says, then the dragon was enraged at the woman, and he went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. Well, you guys, what happens next? What happens immediately after that? The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns, 7 heads, and 10 crowns on its head, and each of them a blasphemous name. This is the Antichrist. So the Antichrist is going to be the method that the dragon uses to fight against the seed of the woman. This is the seed of Satan fighting the seed of the woman, you guys. This is the seed of Satan. Remember what it talks about in Genesis? It says, your seed and her seed. He will crush your head, you will bruise his heel. And but it talks specifically about the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. And the seed of the serpent is the Antichrist. And right here is the Antichrist, the fulfillment of Genesis 3:15. Okay. And so this is the coming of the Antichrist. So you guys, we are just on the edge. We are on the edge. You know, Jesus is coming very soon. We need to be ready, get our hearts right, get our priorities right. And hallelujah. Praise the Lord. All right, you guys. Well, what did I do? Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Well, God bless you guys. Thank you. Trump's wife. Yeah. That's really sad. Yeah, it bothers me that she's pro-abortion. You know what? Just reminds you that, you know, Iran's threat. This Iran's threat to Trump. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's pray for them, for them and for the whole family. Eric, what's the other one? Donald? Is the other one Donald? Is it Eric and Donald and Ivanka and Jared Kushner and all of them? Really? Yeah. Yeah, but he's the one who got Roe v. Wade overturned. You know, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was this thing where, where he was wanting to this is during his first administration when he was president. He wanted to defund Planned Parenthood, and people came and said, "Oh, Planned Parenthood does so much wonderful stuff. They don't just they give birth control. They give important tests and STD tests and all these important tests that they do. You know, there's so many things that help so many women in so many ways." And then Trump says, "Well, just tell them to stop the abortions and they can keep the money." So that was a great line. So, all right, you guys, if you haven't done it, do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. He loves you and we love you. Much more importantly, he loves you. So you guys have a wonderful night.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.